What's up, guys? This is the Tom Bihn Aeronaut 30 and 45. Let's get into them.
Chase Reeves reviews a bag. Chase Reeves reviews. Chase Reeves reviews.
This thing is an excellent single bag travel option with one huge caveat. That is, there is no laptop compartment. There is no sort of tech pocket or compartment. So if that is necessary for you, this is not the bag to be looking at. That said, I am going to be showing you my wife and new daughter as well as my son, because both of them used these bags recently and they're gonna give you a little bit of their experience using it. But before we do that, let me tell you a little bit about the machinery, the materials and the technicalities of this bag. The first thing to know about this bag is it is incredibly well made. The materials, and then also how those materials are put together, okay? First of all, this bag comes in two different main materials. This one over here is their 1050D ballistic nylon, a super robust nylon, very strong, very, very long lasting. And then this one over here is their ultralight 400D halcyon. I don't know what halcyon means. I don't even know what 400D means. I do know what ultralight means because it is a lot lighter of a fabric than this over here. Both of them are strong. This one's a little bit stronger. Okay, this one's a little bit lighter, this one's a little bit stronger. Plan accordingly. If I wanted a bag that I was gonna use for the next 60 years or something like that, I would probably go with this one. If I wanted a bag I could use for the next 20 years, no problem, and that's fairly light, I would go with this one. Now, these are the two different sizes the bag comes in. 30 liters and 45 liters, okay? 45 liters, this is huge. This is so big. It's massive. And it's also too big for some carry-on stuff out in Europe. I don't know if you've done some carry-on out in Europe, but every once in a while you're like, no, I'm sorry, sir, that bag simply cannot fit on my plate. Can you fit it? How large is that? Yeah, it's too bag. No, it's a large bag, it's too bag. You're going to have to check that, sir. You're going to have to check that in. That's happened to, not to me, but to my wife one time before. Even just because she was using a floppy duffel and they just like won't budge on some of these flights like that. This is, I think, even if it's like fits within some of the measurement stuff, still, it's like, it's too dangerous because when you check the bag, then it's like, I don't know, that's the whole dream, is like not checking your bag. The 30 fits perfectly. I believe strongly that the 30 is big enough for you. You might be worried about that, okay? But there's a whole world of minimal-ish traveling waiting for you. This isn't minimal travel. This fits so much shit. Okay, so that's my take on the size of these tubes. Back to the materials. Zippers here are YKK number 10 AquaGuard zippers, okay? Super gnarly zippers. That means AquaGuard, they are sealed on the inside with a rubberized sort of, liquid seal so that rain cannot get in. Probably if you were submerging it underwater, you'd start to see some water getting in. Same thing with this material. Both of them are treated with a water-resistant treatment, so the water just beads right off of it. Neither of them come with any sort of rain cover. Traveling through Europe, this is fine as is. If you're doing like monsoon season in Southeast Asia, you might want to get, just for your own peace of mind, one of those tiny little collapsible rain covers that covers the whole thing. It might make you feel a lot better just to know that you have that thing. But the water resistance with the AquaGuard seal makes for me feeling like relatively comfortable. I've never personally been trapped in the rain like that before, so maybe in the comments, share your story if you have a nightmare story of getting trapped in the rain and all your stuff getting soaked. That could be a big deal. Both of these bags have a back panel with some padding on it, and then shoulder straps come out of this, okay? Like so, just like you'd expect. They come out, and then there is a little, really beautifully designed hip. And now you're good to go. You're rocking and you're rolling. There's 2 of those. There's not just one, there's 2. Our strap here is a curved strap that fits really nicely and snugly, just like you're used to. It's padded. It's got a removable chest buckle, sternum strap that is really useful when this thing's loaded up. This is sort of the really great thing about this bag, because effectively, this bag is just a duffel bag. The truth is, it's better than a duffel bag because the way that the pockets are set up, 1 main big compartment, 2 side compartments that are ample enough. You'll hear my wife talking about that in a little bit. With the straps, make this a killer duffel bag. Have you ever had a duffel bag where it was just one thing and you're like, it's actually too much freedom. Too much freedom. It's nice to have these separators that they have in here so that you can segment your space a little bit easier. Speaking of segmenting the space, let's talk about the different pockets that you do have and the different segmentation compartments that you have. On each side, you have a tiny, a little pocket that is just, it's not 3-dimensional, it just goes down. You have a leash that they give you with the bag and an O-ring in here. Really useful if you have maybe your passport or your flight documents in one of their little pouches that they make that goes on this thing, or your wallet. You throw it in there so it can't get stolen. You'll never drop it out somewhere. They make longer leashes like this. So you reach in, you pull out the thing. It's ample length so you can unzip the guy, get your thing past the stuff, whatever. They love the O-rings, the Tom Bihn does. Side pocket here, and same thing on this other side with another O-ring. I'm sure they have another O-ring. I'm sure of it. There it is, little O-ring. Also, nice handles on either side. They're made well as this handle up front. One of the greatest things about this is that unlike typical duffels, the handle is just off to the side. It always stays together. You have no reason to take it apart unless you really need to slide a jacket in or something like that. So it's always there to grab, and it is nice to hold on to. So you are sturdy with these things, grabbing and throwing and chucking and jiving and all of that stuff when you're carrying and walking with the bag, even without the backpack straps. So then, let's open up this main compartment. These zippers take a little while to break in because they're very thick and they're very sturdy. Inside of here, you have a flap that has a nice little mesh pocket. I'll let you see my mouth when I talk. That's a nice little mesh pocket. This ends up being useful. You could throw your toiletry bag in here. You could throw, if you're like my wife, you just keep everything separate. It's like there's pills, like little one-off pills, and like packages of pills, and like little tinctures for calming a baby down. Like all sorts of things in here. Nice to have that little bit of organization in there, because that's basically it. Here I have one of their Aeronaut or something packing cubes. I like this. I can typically fit, I did this when I traveled with the Synapse. I did all my clothes in this thing. That was for like a 4-day trip, right? This fits a lot of things, right? Then you throw that in there, you could easily fit another one of those on top of that, seal this up. Then, as you're gonna see, there's 2 more big compartments here. Again, this bag is made just to travel with your clothes. There is no tech pockets in here anywhere. There's no laptop, there's no pen holders, there's no nothing. Use this bag when you're just like, we're just going to Europe for 10 days or 3 weeks or whatever, and we're just bringing this stuff. No computers, no nothing. Just our tablets, our phones that we throw in there. By the way, another interesting thing that they do sell is they have a packing cube that can get turned into a backpack. Kind of cool. Tom Bihn makes that. As well as they have this little bag called the Daylight. I would probably, if I was traveling through Europe for 3 weeks or something like that, I would use that as a packing cube. Honestly, pack a bunch of I would take this packing cube and I would throw it into that bag, then throw that into here, because it's nice to have a little day pack when you're going around and about, and that pack is just like nothing, and it's more sturdy, a little stronger than just their packing cube version of that thing. It's just a pro tip, you can pack a tiny, light, minimal bag into your bigger bag, and that way you don't have to carry 2 things when you're traveling, but when you get there, you have a smaller day pack. That is really important for this bag, because this is not a good bag for a day pack. This does not do that very well. It's big, it's bulky. This 1050D material's heavy. The Halcyon isn't that heavy, but it's like the bag itself is too large for a day pack use. So you're gonna wanna find some sort of day pack to put in here or carry it separately, but I think you should just put it in there if you can. So more on the inside of the bag. Packing cube, again, I think you could probably fit 2 of these in there, which is so much clothes. And then inside, you have these tie-down strips, which totally come out if you need to. I would pull these out because I'm using all packing cubes when I pack these days. That said though, it's kind of nice if you just want to throw your slacks or, with slacks, do you wear slacks? Are you a slack kind of person? Or whatever, down at the bottom, you can fold those, you can kind of like pin those down there. Another thing you'll notice here is inside, there's a zipper compartment. What that does is basically, like it's showing you this is the separation between this main compartment and this pocket. It has the same exact thing on this other side. If I unzip that, this actually comes undone and I can collapse this pocket all the way up into the corner here, effectively making it not useful as a not being used as a pocket, so that I can just chuck all of my packing cubes in this one big thing here, and I never need to get in to it through the side pockets. You have that option with this bag, which is kind of nice. Because you'll probably pick one way or the other and just leave it like that forever. Since I pack with packing cubes, I like to go ahead and leave it intact and have separate packing cubes in there. Again, not sure if you can see it. We've got that Aqua Guard seal on the inside of this zipper that helps keep that water from getting in. Now, let's look at the side pocket. Both of these side pockets are exactly the same, just so you know. In here, I've got another packing cube, another one from Tom Bihn, one of their something packing cubes. I can't remember exactly which one. I'll probably put links to all of these in the description below this video. If I don't, comment and I will. Again, great use of just packing cubes. They're purpose built to fit right into there. You can pack this guy out pretty well, a lot more full than I have it right now. And then when you're in here, you've got the whole compartment. I mean, there's an O-ring in here, so you can put stuff on those leashes again if you'd like to. You can again, to show you this, I don't know. You get the idea that like you can have the whole thing on the inside, or you have the 2 pockets. One thing to note here is this fabric on the inside that it is lined with is that Halcyon 400D ultralight material that they've made. So whether you get the 1050D, the really heavy duty durable, it's a little bit heavier, or the ultralight Halcyon that's still really durable, both of them are lined with the Halcyon on the inside, which is a nice little touch. Okay, then on the other side, same story. Nothing, no frills or thrills on this bag. Here's another one of their packing cubes. A little bit of the fabric on the back and then mesh so you can see what's inside. In this case, it's just some towels. And this is like just a little bit, if I had this packed out tons, it'd probably be just a little bit too big for this pocket, maybe. You know, and again, I'll probably put a link to this I'll find what one it is and I'll put a link to it. Inside again, just a compartment with an O-ring up at the top and the lining so that your stuff is nice and clean. Okay, now let's compare that with the big one, the 45, all right? Everything is exactly the same basically, okay? Except for there's more room. So there'll be an O-ring in each of these side pockets, an O-ring on each of these furthest outside pockets, right? Those go all the way down to the bottom. You've got the handles in all the right places, same strong zipper, same strong, you know, materials and fabric, and you know, put togetherness. When we open this up, I have this from my other video I was doing, just an REI packing cube, a Manal packing cube, and then that same exact size. So just so you know, I feel like I could fit probably 3 of these on top of here, as well as some just shoving a bunch of stuff on one side of those, okay? This is huge. Going from that 30 liter to that 45 liter, it's like a jump that is an order of magnitude. Like I can easily grab one of these and throw it right in there and have another layer on top of these. You know, if I wanted to pack this just like lightly and comfortably, I would have 2 of these and probably 2 of these in this one main compartment, right? That's about as, it feels like that's about as much stuff as I would have in the 30 liter. That's just in the main compartment. Then each of these side pockets is actually bigger than the 30 liter as well. Same as before, you've got those tie downs on the inside here. Those come off. I personally would remove them. And you also have the zipper on either side of this so that you can use it just as a big duffel bag or with the separate compartments. I just pulled the other green container from, or packing cube from the 30 bag. They fit in there just perfectly, like purpose built to have 2 of those. And then I have 1 of those gray guys in here. There's still some room I could fill here, but might as well leave that a little open for whatever's in my mesh pocket on top here so that it can be a little bulky and easily close up on the bag. Again, there's a little bit of room left in here, which is great. I always love to, if I can, travel with a little bit of room, because then if I pick something up when I'm gone, a new shirt, a teddy bear, a jacket, or a scarf, or who knows what, something like that, I can just shove it in there. Now, doing the sides here, I've got a, this is one of their interesting things. It's a stuff sack, right? Where it's meant to, you stuff your clothes clean on one side, and then it's the same sack on the other side. So when you pull out those underwear over here and you put them over there, now they're in the dirty. For me personally, I mean, it's cool if you use stuff sacks to travel. I don't use stuff sacks because I like my stuff to stay sort of folded and rolled, so it doesn't get all wrinkly and stuff like that. And I don't carry enough underwear to use one of these to fill up one of these guys, right? But an interesting idea if you're interested in stuff sack sort of packing where you can really shove a lot in there and pack it down. I've just got one big wool sweater in here right now that I'm not really compressing very much. But this one is made for use as like a clean side and a dirty side. And that fits perfectly in here, which like, I mean, I feel like I could go on trips and just use this pocket right here because it's huge. Again, another O-ring at the top of the bag up here and then just a big old space. And this one, it's really, really big. You're amazed at how much stuff you can fit in here. In fact, just like from that 30, I think this thing was purpose built to fit comfortably in here. It is, totally. Fits right in there like a snug, like a little bug with plenty of room on the sides. Then on this side over here, just to show you for the sake of, showing, here's a pair of like running shoes in here where there's tons of space more that I could fit. Gosh, I don't know, like at least an extra like really like wool sweater I could easily put in here. And just for comparison's sake, I also have a copy of this is the 45 in the 1050 hardcore ballistic nylon, just so you get a sense of it. It is a little bit of a heavier bag just by itself by, I don't know how much. I'm not gonna tell you how much. It's just, you're gonna notice it's a little bit heavier, a little bit bulkier, but you're also gonna notice your stuff's a little more protected, right? It is you can throw it around a little bit more because this is definitely more of a rigid fabric. Okay, here is the 45 on my back. The straps are really comfortable, the contour of it. There isn't a frame in the bag. There is the padding on the back is all you have. So however your load is in the bag is however it's going to feel. It does not feel too big or bulky. I mean, this is packed with pretty light stuff right now, but it feels like I am really, really mobile in this thing right now. If I was going from, the airport in Berlin to the train station or something like that, if I was hiking my way through a city or something, this feels really, really good. Way better than cobblestones in a roller suitcase. Okay, I am 5'9", 5'10"-ish, and this is what this looks like. How do I look? Do I look good? Yeah. Now for my next trick, I'll do the same thing with the 30, and you can see the difference. This feels a little bit stronger, a little bit nicer because I packed it a little tighter. I have 2 of those green packing cubes in here, my shoes, and then that little gray packing cube in here. This is like plenty for me to be in Europe for an indefinite amount of time, probably Southeast Asia as well. But again, I don't have my laptop and stuff like that with me, so this would have to be a non-work trip, and I work from home, I work from wherever, so if I can go to Europe for 6 months, but I have to bring my laptop, you see? So bringing this, I would have to bring all of my clothes in here and then have some small little other bag, which means that's another thing to manage and stuff like that. I would probably end up opting instead to go with the Manal or something where I could fit my laptop in there personally. But if I was just doing like 10 to 20 days in Europe or something like that, or a month in Europe, no work, and I wanted to do it without a laptop on purpose, this is exactly what I would take. I highly recommend you go with the 30 instead of the 45 if you're doing Europe or something like that, just because it forces you to be a little more strict with what you bring, and that is going to make you a better traveler. If you haven't experienced that yet, you can buy what you need to when you get there if you really, really need it. But here's what it looks like. Again, I am 5'9", feels really comfortable, feels really good to go. Not much of a difference in feel except for, it's just tighter. It's like I know more where the bag begins and ends. The other one went a little higher, a little lower. This feels great. This feels strong. Like I can go run. I want to go on a run right now. Now, my wife and son actually used these two bags respectively for a recent trip that we did when I was using the Tom Bihn Guides pack. So I brought them on here so that you can hear how they liked using the bags. So here's my son who used this Aeronaut 30. What was it like for you to use?
Well, that's
pretty good? So right here, this is the main opening for the stuff. What did you put in this pouch right here?
My clothes and my book and my jacket.
Okay, were your clothes just loose in there, or did you have them in packing cubes?
Packing cube.
Was there enough room in here for everything? For everything that you had?
No, I just put some other stuff in the other pocket.
So these two pockets over here, what kind of other stuff did you put in here?
Like some Legos.
Yeah. Okay, so question for you. Was it easy for you to carry? When you were like going from the car to the hotel or something like that, that was easy to carry. Did you ever use the backpack straps? Once? Did it hurt or was it easy or like was it cool?
Easy.
It was easy. Okay, so if there's another kid out there right now who's like maybe thinking about using this bag for a trip, maybe to Europe or around California or something like that, would you give them any advice?
Well, not exactly. Well, if you have big things, this might not be the best bag because it got like sort of small pouches. Like if it's like this big, it might not be good.
Yeah.
This might not be good.
Like what kind of big thing?
Like maybe like if you have a really big laptop or something like that. It might not
Or like a
fit
huge
there.
Lego box or something like that. You heard it here first, folks. Aiden Reeves used the Aeronaut 30 for 2 weeks, and he has to say, yeah, it's pretty good.
It's pretty good.
Okay, now I'm here with my wife and my daughter, Etney and Melissa, who you both used this 45, the Aeronaut 45 and the Halcyon fabric through our 2-week road trip with the thing. Babe, what was your experience like with this bag? First question is like, were you able to fit enough stuff into it?
Yes, we packed my stuff and her stuff into the bag, and I had my stuff in the main compartment and her stuff in the outer compartments. It was probably a little tight for both of us.
Little tight. Was there enough sort of difference between the pockets, enough different compartments? You have the outer little pockets as well as the middle big one and then the two side ones. Did you wish there was more pockets, or are you like, no, that wasn't my beef with the bag?
No, I think if I had packed the bag for just myself, it would have been the perfect amount of compartments. And I liked that there were enough compartments accessible, not through the interior compartment, that were actually like sizable.
That you could get to from the outside of the bag without
You could
getting
easily
in.
get to it from the outside of the bag, which made it easy to organize, like, you know, whether it's this is where my dirty stuff goes, or this is where, you know, this is where day stuff goes, or whatever. And that they're sizable, because I feel like a lot of times compartments on a bag that are accessible from the exterior are really only big enough for really small things, or maybe like travel documents or something, and these are actually like, you know, you can have an entire category of clothing in them.
Okay, good. Yeah, now, if you had to choose a beef for this bag, something, what would you say was the worst part about it?
I would say if if there was one thing that I wished it could do for me on the trip, I wish that there was an easy place to pack a laptop.
Yeah.
Like if the outside of this, pocket or something that was easily accessible was a good place to put a laptop.
Yeah, because
Then
we
you
did
could
just kind of...
really have everything in one bag.
We just threw your laptop in with your clothes.
Yeah, and I don't like doing that.
Okay. In use, carrying it, and I mean, I think a lot of times you didn't end up carrying it because you were carrying her.
Yeah,
or
I
something.
haven't carried it a lot, but when I did, it was fine. When the couple times I used the backpack straps, those felt comfortable. I mean, I wouldn't consider it to be like a heavy-duty hiking bag by any means, but it was comfortable for like...
Thinking about like Europe, would this be like the bag that you'd want to take through for 10 days in Europe or something like that?
I still really like a bag that has a roller capability because sometimes you just don't even want a backpack. You want to just be able to roll something or have something that's a little bit more structured, that you can sit on or something.
Yeah, which I think is valid, if a little misdirected, because the value of being able to walk through traffic in Milan without rolling a roller duffel is, to me, far surpasses the ability to sit on a suitcase in a train station where there are ample benches.
There are never ample benches in Milan.
Okay, that was my wife and my daughter using the bag. So, the Tom Bihn 45 and 30, there you have it, a very honest take on what this bag is like. My biggest thing about this is it is extremely well made. It's gonna last you a long time, and it's a kind of a delight to use when you're out using it. The huge caveat there is no technical pocket, there's no laptop container, there's no nothing, right? In that capacity. So this I would only end up using if I was traveling without my laptop, without any tech needs, kind of like that. Tom Bihn does sell a laptop cache, which is a padded laptop holder that you could probably find a way to put in this and yada yada yada. I personally wouldn't use that. I would opt instead for using a bag like the Manal because I like a minimal travel with all of my stuff in there, the tech stuff included. Let's see, what else to mention? I would be going with the 30 instead of the 45. Personally, I would be getting their Tom Bihn Daylight bag. It's like $80 and it's good materials that I would use that, like throw my packing cubes into that. So it effectively isn't taking up any space in the bag, so that when I got to where I'm going, I have a little day pack there. Listen, you know if this bag is speaking to you. You know if this is exactly the right thing for your kind of application that you're looking to use it in. It's comfortable, it's nice to use. If you think it's gonna work for you, it probably will. If that I'm saying about not having a laptop or not having a technical pocket or something like that isn't worrying you at all, then this is the thing. Like, to me, this is what Rick Steves should be selling. This is the ultimate Rick Steves kind of bag, right? He's all about traveling with a bag that fits under the seat in front of you. You never have to check it in, right? You carry it on, fits under the seat in front of you. This Aeronaut 30 is your guy, and you'll be amazed how much shit you can fit in it. Okay, I have been Chase Warbin Reeves. Thanks so much for watching. As a job, I do this for fun. For my job, I help people get their footing, creating an independent business, earning a living doing something that they care about. I love great manufacturing. I love great teachers, great experts and things like that. And so at my company Fizzle, at fizzle.co, people are learning how to become bloggers and podcasters and experts and YouTubers and physical product manufacturers, and how to market your thing, how to get your thing off the ground, because we've all had a shitty job. We know what that's like. So anyways, if that's interesting to you, if you are working for yourself, if you're self-employed or want to be, check out fizzle.co. Check out the podcast that I do as well, The Fizzle Show, which is probably the easiest way to get great information straight into your ears for that kind of thing. But you're here for a bag review. So yeah, I don't know if that suits you. I just say that because then it makes it so that I can do this in my spare time. All right, guys, see you later.